ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्री वेदव्यास याज्ञवल्क्य सद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। वैशंपायन ऋषये नमः। आद्य शंकर सद्गुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। From Pranava Upasana, let us do the chanting. Om Omiti Brahma. This is 16th Anuvaka in Siksha Valli. ओमिति ब्रह्मा ओमितीदगं सर्वं ओमित्येतदनुकृतिः स्म वा अप्योश्रावयेत्याश्रावयन्ति ओमिति सामानि गायन्ति ओगं शोमिति शस्त्राणि शगंसन्ति ओमित्यध्वर्युः प्रतिगरं प्रतिगृणाति ओमिति ब्रह्मा प्रसौति ओमित्यग्निहोत्रमनुजानाति ओमिति ब्राह्मणः प्रवक्ष्यन्नाह ब्रह्मोपाप्नवानीति ब्रह्मैवोपाप्नोति ऋतं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च तपश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च दमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च शमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्नयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्निहोत्रं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अतिथयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च मानुषं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजा च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजनश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजातिश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यमिति सत्यवचाराथेतरः तप इति तपो नित्यः पौरुषिष्टिः स्वाध्याय प्रवचने एवेति न कौमौद्गल्यः तद्धि तपस्तद्धि तपः अहं वृक्षस्य रेरिव कीर्तिः पृष्ठं गिरेरिव ऊर्ध्वपवित्रो वाजिनीव स्वमृतमस्मि द्रविणगं सवर्चसं सुमेधा अमृतोक्षितः इति त्रिशङ्कोर्वेदानुवचनम् वेदमनोच्चाचार्योऽन्ते वासिनमनुषास्ते सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान्मा प्रमदः आचार्याय प्रियं धनमाहृत्य प्रजातन्तुं मा व्यवच्छेत्सेः सत्यान्न प्रमदितव्यं धर्मान्न प्रमदितव्यं कुशलान्न प्रमदितव्यं भूत्यै न प्रमदितव्यं स्वाध्याय प्रवचनाभ्यां न प्रमदितव्यं देवपितृकार्याभ्यां न प्रमदितव्यं मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव यान्यनवद्यानि कर्माणि तानि सेवितव्यानि नो इतराणि यान्यस्माकं सुचरितानि तानि त्वयोपास्यानि नो इतराणि एके चास्मच्छ्रेयागंसो ब्राह्मणाः तेषां त्वयासनेन प्रश्वसितव्यं श्रद्धया देयम् अश्रद्धया अदेयं श्रिया देयं ह्रिया देयं भिया देयं संविदा देयम् अत यदि ते कर्म विचिकित्सा वा वृत्तविचिकित्सा वा स्यात् ये तत्र ब्राह्मणाः सम्मर्षिणः युक्ता आयुक्ताः अलौक्षा धर्मकामाः स्युः यथा ते तत्र वर्तेरन् तथा तत्र वर्तेथाः अथाभ्याख्यातेषु ये तत्र ब्राह्मणाः सम्मर्षिणः युक्ता आयुक्ताः अलौक्षा धर्मकामाः स्युः यथा ते तेषु वर्तेरन् तथा तेषु वर्तेथाः एष आदेशः एष उपदेशः एषा वेदोपनिषद एतदनुशासनम् एवमुपासितव्यम् एवमुचैतदुपास्यम् शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावेद तद्वक्तारमावेद आवेन्माम् आवेद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ओम अत श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तरीयारण्यकांतर्गत तैत्तिरीयोपनिषद ओम प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली शांति मंत्रः ओम शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इंद्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थऋषीणां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ शिक्षां व्याख्यास्यामः वर्णस्रवरः मात्राबलं सामसन्तानः इत्युक्तशिक्षाध्यायः सहनौ यशः सहनौ ब्रह्मवर्चसम् अथा तत्संहिताया उपनिषदं व्याख्यास्यामः पञ्चस्वधिकरणेषु अधिलोकमधिज्यौतिषमधिविद्यमधिप्रजमध्यात्मं तामहासंहिता इत्याचक्षते अथाधिलोकं पृथिवीपूर्वरूपं द्यौरुत्तररूपम् आकाशसन्धिः वायुसन्धानम् इत्यधिलोकम् अथादिज्योतिषम् अग्निः पूर्वरूपम् आदित्य उत्तररूपम् आपस्सन्धिः वैद्युतसन्धानम् इत्यधिज्योतिषम् अथादिविद्यम् आचार्यपूर्वरूपम् अन्तेवास्युत्तररूपम् विद्यासन्धिः प्रवचनकं सन्धानम् इत्यधिविद्यम् अथाधिप्रजम् माता पूर्वरूपम् पितोत्तररूपम् प्रजासन्धिः प्रजननकं सन्धानम् इत्यधिप्रजम् अथाध्यात्मम् अधराहनुः पूर्वरूपम् उत्तराहनुरुत्तररूपम् वाक्सन्धिः जिह्वासन्धानम् इत्यध्यात्मम् इति महासंहिताः य एवमेता महासंहिता व्याख्याता वेद सन्धीयते प्रजया पशुभिः ब्रह्मवर्चसेनान्नाद्येन स्वर्गेण लोकेन ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. It is only that we have to be prepared in the mind in both ways. One, I must know the truth. First preparation, the mind. Second preparation is purifying ourselves fully, our mind. To put in small words, bringing the mind to the Shuddha Sattva Guna Lakshana, whose nature is, as we saw yesterday in the Bhagavatam, purity, whose nature is single pointedness, whose nature is subtlety. Ekagramana, Shuddhamana, Sukshmamana, Manar Antakarana. If this is obtained and if our desire is to know the truth, simple instructions by the Guru are enough for any disciple to reach into that level. But the problem with us is what? So much of inner impurities we have in the deep recesses of vasanas. And so too, the untrained and uncultured mind. Then, as we are talking this topic last 3-4 days every day, more than untrained, uncultured mind, our problem is mistrained or miscultured or misguided mind. how our own day schedule of all our activities are such that the entire mind is spoiled not to be useful or effective at all for our beautiful this spiritual sadhana. That day when we recognize this principle and restrain all our personality layers from getting spoiled, from getting unworthy for the spiritual journey. And also when we make all our equipments worthy for spiritual journey. Thereafter, it's not at all far off, it's not at all difficult. And all this depends either when we totally surrender to the Guru and are under his continuous strict discipline by staying with the Guru. Or if we have our own choice, if we have our own ability, with our own strong, strict discipline, well thought of, well accepted, well executed at every moment, we can achieve this ability in our antakarana. The purity, the subtlety, the concentration. The impure mind is distracted mind through the senses into the world. So too the non-concentrated mind also is unable to focus on the subject when it is taught by the guru or when we study or when we contemplate. And when the antakarana is not sukshma enough, it will not be able to pierce through what is indicated to understand. For example, here in the topic under discussion, first the grammar rules are taught. Then we are given a training to do the upasana. Now, if we are subtle in our understanding, in our intellectual capacity, we will be able to establish the connection between these two. How the Rishi, after telling us the Siksha Dhyaya, immediately he says, very close to Siksha Dhyaya is the Samhita Upanishad I am teaching you. If you are very concentrating and subtle about, then along with the help of main mantra and bhashya, will be able to easily understand the need of this Samhita Upanishad, this upasana of the great deities that are there in the world, functioning with mutual correlation for the existence of the entire universe, and in that our existence also. That's subtlety. Just like in a communication, each word is important, and in between the words, the whether the variety of the gaps with variety of intonations, etc., important. More importantly, those words have to come together with proper connection so that the communication becomes effective. When I am saying communication becomes effective, communication is a different word. Becomes is a different word. Effective is a different word. I am using all these three words with certain pauses in between. And I am bringing connection between them so that some meaningful meaning is conveyed to you. This is what happening in the communication, in the language. That's what the entire Shiksha Adhyaya. Now, the subtlety of intellect is what? Can we see these sort of independent things coming together under some rules, bringing out some beautiful melody, bringing out some beautiful orchestra in the entire universe? Like the letters came together, the Varnas, through the Sandhi rule and brought a beautiful communication system ability. In the same way, can we visualize, can we find that sort of independent things coming together under some rules and facilitating for the happening of the universe? Then if we really put effort to see every moment everywhere in the whole universe, what we are seeing is exactly like the words coming together to bring out a sentence to communicate. In the same way, in the world also, from the same truth, the variety of things are coming, then they with their mutual combination are giving out to this universe the beautiful things required for existence. This vision, if we can develop this subtlety, then we got our Sukshma Buddhi. Then the next Sukshma Buddhi is what? Not only this is theoretically understood, but the Sukshma Buddhi is feeling the requirement in us to do the practical upasana of what is intellectually understood, till not that we are only satisfied intellectually, but we are fully convinced at every aspect of that in this world. This is how the beautiful phenomena of things coming together and bringing out greater things are happening with some substratum behind. That is called as Samhita Upanishad. In this Upanishad, please remember, while the two things go together, the concentration as well as the imagination. The concentration is called as meditation here, the imagination is called as Upasana. So it is a very concentrating, meditative observance called as upasana of these things that are happening. What happens with this? What is happening when we are training ourselves to see as it is? When we train ourselves to see as it is, what is happening in the phenomena? Two things happen. One, the imagination's aspect go away. Why? Because you are training yourself to see the thing as it is. Second, what will happen? This training later on will help us to apprehend the truth when the Guru tells to us as it is. Because I have trained myself to see the things as they are happening and I'm accepting it. That seeing the thing as it is, understanding it and accepting is called as Upasana or Upanishad. That is a Samhita Upanishad. Samhita Upanishad means, as we said yesterday, the Upanishad which is in the interest of you. Samyak Hita. And also Samhita means the Upanishad of blending, coming together. संहिता मतलब संधि बनना, साथ में आना, दो चीज कुछ रूल के द्वारा इकट्ठा होना. When this is learnt, we will see two things. How two things are coming together, bring out the third one, and more importantly, later on, how we have to do our samhita with our own essential self. This is very crucial, very subtle. They are not as easy as being spoken here. Even to apprehend, even to comprehend, even to understand. But still, we are trying to communicate. Finally, what is to be achieved is Samhita Upanishad. What is Samhita? Is adjoining or joining. And joining ourselves with the theoretical, practical, and experiential aspect of what? Upanishad. I have to do Samhita of the Upanishad. I have to join myself with the Upanishad. Theoretically, practically, experientially. What is Upanishad? Which was introduced in the introduction, it was explained. Listening from the Guru about the ephemerality of the world, about the reality of the reality, as a result of which the samsara, visharana, avidya and ignorance, avasadhana and brahma gamana, these three should happen in me. So this training when we give ourselves that helps us later on for this Samhita Upanishad is equal to our slowly de-identifying ourselves from the Jivatva because of identity with Upadhi, and slowly we withdraw identity from this to our essential self. I am that Sat, I am that Chit, I am that Ananda. To take us to that ability and capacity to do that sadhana, the world in which we are so much engrossed, instead of involving in the world through karma and karma phala and bhoga, we are trained to do the upasana, to observe, to concentrate, to see how it is happening. And in that veneration, in that awe, in that inspiration, be respectful and reverential. Like when you stand under any tree, a beautiful fruit tree. One way is pluck the fruit and eat. Any animal does that. But then, if you can observe the Samhita Upanishad in that, the entire phenomena that is happening from the beginning till the fruit is coming out. The person's attitude will be respectful and reverential if he can observe it. In the observation, when you see the wonders that are happening in the world, you will definitely become respectful and reverential. When the respect and reverence comes, you will not be a bhogi, you will be only a yogi. Yogi in the sense, you will be a contributor only, you will not be at the lower level of consumption. Like in the example of the tree, first of all, it was in the seed form. Then it was sown by someone, or somehow it entered into the earth. From there onwards, you can observe the phenomena continuously how the tree is slowly growing from the plant level up to that gigantic tree. And suddenly one day you see that small flower and it has become the tender, that what do you call as a kacha wala phal. Dheere dheere it has fructified to become a sweet fruit. How beautiful that Samhita Upanishad, if it is observed. In this way, if you see in this world, continuously the Samhita Upanishad is happening. Miracles are happening. Wonders are happening. See them with respect and reverence. With that, we should come down in our level of arrogance that I am the doer of this, I am achiever of this. Secondly, the one who is the one in whose presence these Samhita Upanishads are happening. Can I meet him? Can I know him? That's what Parikshit. Who is the one who protected me? Can I see him? Can I meet him? Every bhakta searches not for what he needs or gains, but his search is for the one who is fulfilling the needs and providing all the gains. Is it not? Then you will get the darshan in the form of your own, his own Ishtadevata, that is Rama, Krishna, Anjaneya, Shiva, Mother, whatever. A jignasu also, after doing sufficient upasana of the Samhita, then he sets into the intellectual inquiry as to what is that, who is that beyond all these great things that are happening. Mahasagamhitaha. Mahasamhita, there are very huge things that are happening. When the Rishi said this sentence, what he means is don't look at this phenomena as very simple light. दैट्स द डिफरेंस किस चीज को हल्का सा लेना है किस चीज को भारी सा लेना है we take the samsara very heavily we take all these subtle spiritual things very lightly that is a sign of absolute immaturity a matured person takes all these routine things very lightly he takes the higher spiritual truths as very seriously so when the rishi said they are all mahasagamhita in the beginning only he said Ta Mahasagamita idya chakshate in the beginning and end also he said. By saying so, he is instigating in us the need to give value and importance to the happening and our observance of that happening. Because this is how we attentive. We escape the mind and its variety of pulls down to do our sadhana. If this is not done, then something has to be done by the mind. Then it does what it does, seeing the world and feeling some desire and wanting to get it and doing that work and getting the thing also and getting satisfied in that, which is the nature of any animal, level of any animal. Animal घास देखा, वो गई वहां, वो तोड़ लिया और खा लिया. Animals do that. You don't inquire about the Samhita Upanishad, about the grass how the grass has come up from the earth and all, how the fruit, he doesn't think. So, to our minds, go back to the animal level. If they are not directed toward Samhita Upanishad, in which we are continuously observing, inquiring, finding, respecting, and revering. Later on, the one whose presence is making all that happening, we inquire. In that inquiry, all the layers of Maya, of the ignorance, of illusions or delusions or confusions, of all the dualities, all the projections, they start getting fizzled out. Actually, you can visualize that. You can experience the fizzling out of, removal of all these illusions, all these confusions. When something is foggy and smoky, you are not seeing beyond the thing. Now, as the sunlight comes, the fog smoke goes away. As you start seeing the thing very clear, is it not? Or any person coming from far distance, it's very vague. Who is he? As he nears to us, then you can see so closely. Oh, he is so and so. Any of the book when you are reading in a vague mind, you don't understand. 10 times, 12 times when a student studies or reads, whether it's a physical principle or a chemical principle or any biological fact or a mathematical formula, when he looks at it 10 times, he gets clarity of it or understanding. In the same way, with this pursuit of Brahma Vidya, later on, the clarity starts happening about that alone is truth, that alone is reality. All else is the untrained, misguided mind's imagination projection started for an entertainment but ended in only binding us with all dukkha. This is the meaning of Nayam Manome Sukha Dukkha Hetu Na Devatatma Graha Karma Kala. From there we saw the Bhikshu Gita beginning. Mana Param Karanamamananti Samsara Chakram Parivartayedyataha. And toward the end, what did that Bhikshu say? I will just give up all that and I'll have Paratma Nishtha. And while commenting on that, what Bhagavan said, the one who pursues this Brahma Vidya, he gets Mukta. We called it a Brahma Vidya here also. And remember these three steps very conspicuously, without doubt. Without Siksha Dhyaya, we cannot have the Samhita Upanishad. Without Samhita Upanishad, we cannot have Brahma Vidya Upanishad. In theory, in practice, in experience. In the experience also. Let's be very clear about it. And where do we stand? At the Siksha Dhyaya level. Learn it. Once little of it is learnt sufficiently, then enter into the second phenomena of this Samhita Upanishad. In the mind trained with the Samhita Upanishad Abhyasa, throughout life we have to be conscious at intellectual level in observing the things that are happening in the world. Don't get immediately jumped into the utility value and become a bhogi. Then we are only at the level of Indriyas and Mana. Will not enter into the intellectual zone to inquire and find the facts. Only after the inquiry and finding the fact way, training is given to our intellect, that later on only the next important thing of inquiring about the truth and finding it will be happening. In the inquiry of the truth and realization of the self, there is no bhoga like the indriyas involved in the objects. Is it? ये तो अलग है ना. फिर उसके लिए हमें ट्रेनिंग होना है. Here there is nothing doing or gaining or indulging or enjoying. It is only knowing and being. That's it. So to train ourselves to know our own essential being, in between process of observing the world and accepting the great, grand, glorious things that are happening and becoming reverential and respectful towards it, called as Samhita Upasana or Upanishad, is very essential. तभी जाकर हमारे अंदर के भोगी और भोग वृत्तियां और भोग कर्म से हम विथड्रॉ हो सकते, like you are listening to the class now. Here the intellectual work is going on. Because of that only, the mind's projections, the attraction of the senses, all the desire to indulge, that is curtailed. Consequently, when the intellect is becoming functional, we are becoming qualified for some deeper and higher understandings about what's happening in the world. जीव का एवोल्यूशन देहेंद्रिय मन से तादात्म्यता को छोड़कर बुद्धि को विकसित करते हुए उस बुद्धि बुद्धि का सही तरह से उपयोग प्रयोग के द्वारा जीव का अपना स्वरूप को जानना ही ये जीव का एवोल्यूशन है. इस बात को पकड़ के रखना. डोंट अल्टर दिस प्रिंसिपल. What is the non-alterational principle? I am a jiva right now living at the level of worldly activities by identifying with the body through the prana, through the indriya and through the mana. That jiva in me is therefore, because of these things, is a pakka samsari. He is bound by karma, karma phala, janma, jara, roga, mrityu. Now I have to eject out of it. How the jiva in me should come to the intellect level, first to get the Shiksha Dhyaya, then should do the Samhita Upanishad, then third the Brahma Vidya Upanishad. In the gaining of Brahma Vidya through intellect and contemplating on that, the jiva in me slowly evolves to identify with his real self. Thereafter, I know that I am that self. who is infinite, all pervading, in whom none of the upadhis, none of the upadhi related limited entity seeking, searching something outside is not at all there in me. Realization of self means what? I am that self who is infinitely blissful. Therefore, there is no need of any upadhi and upadhi related conditioned being, and then conditioned being using upadhis to do something and gain something. All that transcendence is called moksha. Is called Atmanamurti, Brahmanamurti, Brahmatmaikya Bodha. For that, we have to be definitely accepting doing the intermediate sadhana of Samhita Upanishad. What is given as Samhita Upanishad in Vedas, Veda Kala, is given as the Sri Rama Sri Krishna the Upanishad in the Purana Kala. Same both are. And through here also, by lot of upasana to the Krishna, Lord Krishna Rama, all our dukkha are removed, sukhas are gained, whatever the desire we want, they also fulfilled, obstacles are removed, higher worlds also are given. It goes on for 1,000 lives. Then in 1,001th life, the question will come, is that enough or can there be anything higher and greater? Then with the same God's Krupa of Rama and Krishna, the Jignasu in him is born to discover who is this actual substandard behind that Rama, behind that Krishna, or behind me, the Rama Bhakta or Krishna Bhakta. Then this is equal to the Tattvamasi Mahavakya Upadesha of the Upanishad. In the inquiry, the truth will be revealed that this Brahma Tattva alone, they are the Upasadeva, the Upasaka here. What a beautiful thing it is. Yeah. So, after giving this little introduction and connectivity to the subject which we are studying nowadays, now all the four of the Samhita Upanishads Vyakhyanam is done as promised by the Guru. Atata Samhitayaha Upanishadam Vyakhyasyamaha Panchasu Adhikaraneshu. So, Adhilokam done. What is the Purva Rupa? Please remember all the four. Purva Rupam, Uttara Rupam, Sandhi, Sandhana. Each one of them have to be independently meditated upon. Then the mutual combination should be meditated upon. Like a place u o. So meditate on meditate on u, meditate on the gap between both of them, and then meditate on the sandhi, which brings a and u together to make it o. That upasana means meditation here. उपासना करना मतलब concentration से जो अक्षरों में हो रहा है वो करना. Like ऐसे रामेश्वर और महेश्वर. When we say Maheshwara, how that become Maha plus Ishvara Maheshwara? Is it not? So when I said Maheshwara, how the Maheshwara word came? One word Maha, second is word Ishvara. Maha may the last letter is A, Ishvara first letter is E. Then A plus E according to the Gunasadhi rule, it we got A. Therefore Maheshwara came. That's called Upasana. Saying Maheshwara is Vyavahara. How the Maheshwara came out is called Upasana. So to doing in this world whatever is supposed to do or told according to Shastra and get whatever is given or whatever desired, enjoy. It is samsara. But concentrating, meditating on each of these things called as upasana. Do that upasana, do that meditation. Meditation means concentration at this level. At a higher level, meditation means contemplation. A final level, meditation is abidance in the truth, which is understood after contemplation. So you concentrate, your mind's focus on A and then E, then the gap, then the Sandhi rule, then A plus E becoming A. In the same way, meditate on the Prithvi as a whole. Meditate as a Dhyuloka as a whole. Then meditate on the Akasha as a Sandhi between them. Then meditate on the Vayu which is making the Sandhana happen between these two, because of which on the earth the beings are alive and on the Dhyuloka also Devatas are alive. They are mutual helping each other. If the Bhuloka Vasins are not doing oblations and offerings, there is no food for the Devatas there. If the devatas don't empower the Bhulokavasins at their own individual, all the equipments level, the Bhulokavasins, whether human or all, they cannot do their work and get the things. This is what is happening. This, when we become stronger in this understanding, acceptance through concentration and upasana, the illusions or confusions or ignorances as to how all these are happening, that goes away. They are the Diloka Devata shift. In fact, I tell you, when this is done so very deeply, the Diloka Devatas darshana you will find. You don't see the rain, you will see the Varuna Deva giving the rain. You don't see the sun because Upasana has become so strong. The Surya Bhagavan we will see through that sun. You don't see the Samudra there, you see the Samudra Devata. That is what in Puranas we read, even Ramji went there, इतिहास में समुद्र देवता आए वहाँ 3 दिन के बाद. Is it not? Ganga Mata gave darshan and spoke. Is it not? The Varuna Devata spoke, Indra Devata came and talked. What do you mean by all that? It's not a just cock and bull stories or illusory. If that is so, they won't become the great literature of the moksha. An imaginary, delusory storytelling shastra. How can we become the cause of mukti? So even the darshana of that happens to such an extent that the person in front of you don't see as body. Now you are seeing as body. Sometimes you connect with the mind. You go beyond that and you see the jiva, like the gurus. The guru, yogi gurus see the jiva in us. They don't see the professional individual in us. They don't see an individual identified with the deha adi and claim that this jati, that jati. Oh, they see the jiva. उसको क्या treatment चाहिए, that they give. That capacity will come. So Akasha Sandhi, meditate. It is an Akasha, the empty space because of which these Prithvi, the Purva Rupa and Dyahu Uttar Rupa are able to come together. And what is that facilitating coming together? Vayu Sandhanam. The Sandhana Karta is the Vayu. Meditate on that. That's it. All the time mind in that. Then come to the second higher level. Little higher than this first one is second. दैट इज वाई अथा 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 मतलब इसके बाद मतलब पहला ये करके ही दूसरा ये करो, इसका तीसरा अनफोल्ड एंड आउटसाइड अनलेस वी डेवलप द उपासना बुद्धि टेकिंग द वर्ल्ड एज उपास्य देवता be attentive. Our desiring about the world in our mind will not quieten. Unless that is done, the inner three Samhita Upanishads of Adhividya, Adhipraja, Adhyatma, we can't. Therefore, the Guru is guiding us to do the Upasana beginning from outer side first. So, first Adi Loka Upasana. How the Lokas are connected. The Bhuloka, Diloka, the Akasha Loka, the Vayu Mandala Loka. The Akasha is a Sandhi in which from the Diloka, the Vayudeva is coming to make the Prithvi happen as well as sustain. This is very subtle. In the Akasha as Sandhi, the Diloka is sending the Vayumandalam for the earth, the Bhuloka, to appear as well as sustain continuously. That's what is happening. Where is the earth? It is in the Akasha. How come the Akash mein earth aya? It must be a sankalp of someone, and whose sankalp is the Diloka Devatas. And what is the process? Through the Vayu. Is it not every aspect on the earth is brought together by the presence of Vayu Shakti, the Prana Shakti only? All the fusions are happening because of Vayu. When the fission happens, that's how the Vayu gets released, therefore it becomes a huge Shakti, which we call it Prana Shakti, subtle energies, which are keeping the Paramanus intact. It's a very subtle thing. You have to combine Maha Yoga Shakti here with whatever the science has achieved so far. Then these subtle things are revealed. which is different subject altogether. We are not capable of entering into a superficial little ideas we have. That's it. For us, that's enough. Now come to the second one, Agni Purva Rupam. Meditate on Agni and its contribution. Become respectful and reverential to the Agni. Then where from the Agni is coming? Aditya Uttara Rupam for all the three worlds. Agni in whatever the form it is there, manifest or unmanifest, it is by the Lord's Son only. The unmanifest fire is in everything because fire again is the one which is giving form, shape to everything. The unmanifest. And the same thing when it is burnt, then you can see the manifest Agni. अग्नि तत्व अलग है. वो अग्नि तत्व अनमैनिफेस्ट में अनमेस्ट में होता ही है. मैनिफेस्ट जब होता है कि इस अग्नि के रूप में होता है. दैट रूप इज नॉट अग्नि तत्व. उस रूप में अग्नि तत्व प्रकट हो रहा है. अग्नि तत्व अदरवाइज इज अनमैनिफेस्ट बिकॉज ऑल सटल थिंग्स आर अनमैनिफेस्ट. एवरी ऑफ द तत्व तत्व का नजर आता नहीं. तत्व रूप को लेकर दिखाता है लेकिन उसका स्वयं का रूप नहीं होता. So the Aditya is the one. Okay, then what is the Sandhi in which the Aditya is becoming the Agni? You must know that the Apaha Sandhi. The Jala is the Sandhi, like the Akasha was Sandhi earlier. And there Vayu Sandhanam is there, Apa Sandhi, Vaidyutaha Sandhanam. The flashes of Vidyuta that is continuously coming from the sun through the Kiranas is the one because of which the fire element is sustaining here or anywhere. And why they are called Mahasamhitaha? The Surya there and Diloka there, the Prithvi here, the Agni Tattva here, and in between things of the Akasha and Apaha, as is Vayu, and this one here, the Vaidyuta, each of them are so heavy. First of all, their capacities, abilities, energies, pervasivenesses, permeations are so infinite that they are sustaining millions of jivas. That is the reason because of which it is said Maha. तो वो महावाद क्यों बताया? Understand their mahaness and then develop that respect, reverence. Like when you remember a prime minister or chief minister, head of the department, if you look at him as a human being, you don't have any respect. But if you know that the 30 about states is concerned about 135 crores of people he is looking into for their safety, security and all, then you will understand Mahanta of him. Like your own parents. You look at them, you don't feel it. But when you know that how difficult it is for them to bring you up at every day's meal, everyday facility, then you understand they are Mahan. Like in our parts of the body. They are there. If you look at like that, they are there only. You don't develop any respect. But if you go into their contribution, the heart from the birth till now, how many millions times it went on pumping the blood and all. The lungs, how much of the inhaling, exhaling they have done to sustain the life in me. The digestive system, how many millions of quintals are the things I ate and पूरा सोचो तो उनकी महानता आपको पता चलता है. The legs, how many millions, like thousands of kilometers it took me. Hands, how much of work they have done for me so far. The tongue, how much of the taste it gave me. देखो, if you observe महानता पता चलता है. In the same way, observe and accept the Mahanta of them. They develop respect, reverence. Then you will not feel like an indulgent bhogi to seek some pleasures from them. Rise above these lower tendencies. They are nothing but meaningless trainings given to ourselves. All the indulgences through senses is purposeless, meaningless, wrong training given to ourselves. The one who has got higher purpose, he'll have to pull himself from this. This technique helps. The technique of respect, reverence. Now, second reason for which we have to respect, revere all of them is, after all of them are the expression of that most reverential, respectful Parabrahma Paramatma only. Is it not? Therefore, all these eight things we have to respect. Purvarupam, Uttarupam, Sandhi, Sandhanam. In the first Adiloka Samhita Upasana, second one is Adijyotisha Samhita Upasana. When we do sufficiently that one consciously, then as we said, heart becomes so pure. With that little purified heart, now you start doing the Adividya Upasana, Samhita Upanishad. Then comes you can do Adipraja. Then only the Adhyatma. In the Adhyatma, one only is given. Slowly you have to go deeper inside. In that we will be guided in the subsequent mantras. So what is the Adhividya Samhita Upasana? Who is the Purva Rupam? Acharya. Uttara Rupam Antevasi. Sandhi Vidya. Sandhanam Pravachanam. Have respect to everyone of them. And the combination of that called transfer of the knowledge from the guru to disciple, feel the fulfillment in that and make use of that knowledge. And yesterday we have exhaustively explained, so we'll not go into those details. And we said everywhere in the world it's happening. Every lion is an acharya as a purva rupa to its own cub, which is an uttara rupa. It is teaching the vidya of how to hunt through its own way of teaching. Pravachanam Sandhanam. Its pravachana is silent teaching. You and I don't know, but in the nature the Lord has kept. In every mother bird or animal to train the siblings or the children. You understand that? हमको नहीं दिखता है वो. Every deer teaches its dear child how to get its own grass or food, also how to escape from the lion or tigers. Every bird teaches. Every quail teaches its children how to cuckoo and how to lay the eggs in the nest made by a crow and let the crow hatch it and then you come out. The quail is a very cunning fellow. He never hatches his eggs. He just lays in the nest of a crow. Crow doesn't differentiate. Apna hai ki uska hai. Then it hatches, then the quail comes from it. It is that. It's training. Are you finding it? In the same way, Acharya Purva Rupam, Antevasya Rupam, Vidya Sandhi, Prajanan Sandhanam. Do this in your own education system. Do it same thing when you are in the Gurukula with the Guru. Vidya Sandhi, Pravachanagam Sandhanam. Vidya Sandhi, we explained it for the sake of transfer of Vidya from the Guru to disciple, that they came together. That's the purpose. And how do you do that? Pravachanam. And in the Pravachanam, Guru does his own efforts, his own mehnat, sahanavatu sahana bhunaktu ityadi, disciple also should do it. This is what the Maha Samhita Upanishad happening, which we have to observe. Just like we said, all the beings, living beings are right from the creation till now are doing that Pravachana Sandhanam, Vidya Sandhi or Adividya Upasana. In the same way, right from the creation till the end of it, the gurus are always there, Shishyas are always there, our teaching is going on. Always, even in the most primordial time also. So the outer things gaining Vidya also taught, and then the inner Vidya also taught. There were rishis, munis, right from beginning, teaching the disciple the Brahma Vidya. Not that it's not, now only we are studying. सारे वेद तो उस काल में से तो आए हैं. We are only copying them. इनफैक्ट उस समय में ही रिवील हुए सारे वेद ज्यादातर. कृतयुग त्रेता, लिटिल ऑफ देम इन द्वापर, इन कलयुग जो है वो भी लुप्त करते हमन. Anyway, that's different subject, irrelevant. Yeah. So after these three are done, now Adiprajam also we have seen. Mata Purva Rupam. So that Bhagavan himself in the form of mother manifested, the Rai aspect. Pitottara Rupam, then the Prana aspect, the Pitaji, the Bija Pradata. It is he only in that form he came. Then, as I said, the Praja Sandhi. What is Praja Sandhi? The Lord made man and women, and brought them together through the wedlocks and created that beautiful love between them. For what purpose? To continue giving the deha to the next set of jivas for doing their sadhana. Therefore, the praja is the one which brings them together called as sandhi. And you see the fulfillment in the families when the offsprings are born and they are growing. ये तब पता चलता है जब आप किसी घर जाओ जहाँ ये संतान नहीं है, सुनसान रहता है घर. In your house, you see the children, grandchildren born, playing and all, so you don't know the value of them. When you see the house where none of the children, you see empty, empty, सब बूढ़े बूढ़े घूम रहे. And at the large also you can see, at a national universal level, if the children are not born, the entire future is without human beings only. So Bhagavan is brought these two for the sandhi. They brought the sandhi of bringing these two together for the praja. That's why we saw yesterday, these Mata Pita should do such type of tapasya that they create such a praja through them who are the great, great contributors for the world. And every parent of the nation or the world, if they think like that, through them those jivas are born as children or the human beings who will become great contributors or great noble people of the world. If the parents are like Bhayankara Rakshasa, then naturally they'll also have children Bhayankara Rakshasa. So be careful in that. After seeing these four samhitas, now the last one is Adhyatmika. In Adhyatmika, there are millions. Where if we develop the knack, we can discover with the training of the earlier four ones what is Purva Rupa, what is Uttara Rupa, what is Sandhi, what is Sandhanam. And how this way the Vyakaranam means expansion of the creation is happening in the presence of Paramatma. Like in the presence of me, the conscious being, the expansion of the speech happened through Vyakaranam. सो व्याकरण को सीख कर वहां का ही संधि रूल के द्वारा संहिता उपनिषद हम कर रहे हैं. In the entire universe, that is happening. No? Bhagavan created Panchamahabhuta and brought them together through Panchikaranam. Through Panchikruta Panchamahabhuta, he brought all the dehas. ये सब संहिता ही चल रहा है यहाँ. Then to into that body, the Bhagavan has made the jiva to enter. And to that jiva, he added the pranas. And he jiva is given all his samskara package. जैसे आप किसी होटल में या नए घर में चलते हो तो then your entire saman is utrod from the vehicle and you are given it and you open and do the play. So too a jiva entering to this body, after that he is given all his saman of sukshma sharira, he opens that and he is playing. These are all samhita upanishads, आध्यात्मिक संहिता उपनिषद. फिजिकल लेवल में, प्राण लेवल में, मन लेवल में निरंतर पूर्व रूप, उत्तर रूप, संधि, संधानम is going on. For that, a sample is given here of the Adhyatma Samhita Upanishad Abhyasa of concentration, upasana, and meditation. Concentration and meditation, if you take it as one, the meditation and upasana. Upasana is reverence and respect for that great happening. Then don't do such things by which that happening is obstructed. Later on, make use of that happening for a higher purpose. Thereafter, who is the one who is allowing this phenomena to happen? In whose presence these four are happening? ये पूर्व रूप कहाँ से आया, उत्तर रूप कहाँ से आया, संधि कहाँ से आया, संधान कहाँ से आया, चारों आपको पता चलेंगे एक ही पर ब्रह्म से आ रहे. That is later on experimentation. First, develop your alertness, conscious level, observation level, giving respect and reverence level through doing all this upasana. And this, which was appearing to be little heavy and complicated, as was in the Vedic period, in the Pauranic period, the Vyasa made the same thing little tangible, easily understandable. So he gave us, put the Shaligrama Vishnu or Linga of the Shiva. Then do variety of prakriyas of dhyayami, avayami, asanam, and all that. Then do the upasana, ashtottaram, arati, वगैरह. ये सब क्या हो रहा है यहाँ? Nothing but training given to you about the presence of the divinity and His grace, etc. Then in my sankalpa, I ask that Lord to give this or that to me. And the Lord gives also. In the Pauranic Kala, after Upasana is done, you are given the things. In Vaidika Kala, already things are given. Using them, this fellow, out of reverence, he does Upasana. It is not the Upasana is done, then the Nadi mother came. No. Already the mother Nadi is there, then she is worshipped. It's not Bhagwan Surya का उपासना किया फिर सूरज का उगना हुआ. Suraj already there. His contribution is understood. Then he is found to be worthy of worship. And worship was given through argyam and all that. Okay, now adhyatmam. In this, the purva rupam is what? Adara hanu purva rupam. Hanu means this jaws, JW, Hanuman ji ka. The adara hanu, the whole thing, this is the purva rupam. Then upar ka bhi hai, upper jaw. Don't show me the your danger. So यहाँ मेरे पास भी दोनों है. उत्तरा हनु उत्तरा रूपम. Then what is that? The sandhi, vak sandhi. These two, Adara and Uttarahanu, are the ones because of the presence of whom the entire walk and speech is possible. ये दोनों नहीं है, इनके बीच में आवाजाही ऊपर नीचे नहीं हो रहा तो कोई वाणी एक्सप्रेस होगा ही नहीं. Means the purpose called as speech is become sandhi here. Like the purpose called praja became the means for sandhi of these two. Then purpose of vidya became the sandhi for the teacher and disciple to come together. Clear? Here also. This thing, Adarahanu Purva Rupam, lower ja, Uttarahanu Uttara Rupam, the upper ja, then the Vak Sandhi, it the speech which is the purpose which is bringing them together. Then what is that making the speech happen? What is the Sandhi rule there? Jihva Sandhanam. If the जिह्वा is not there, आप जीव को आप अंदर ले जाके आप बात करना कोशिश करो. I'll ask you, what is your name? Without wagging the tongue. एक rubber band लगा दो tongue पे. Pull it inside and then speak. Can we utter even one letter? That's Vagrupi, great Sandhana Karta is not there, then the purpose of this, the Jihva Rupi, great Sandhana Karta is not there, then the Vag will never express only. And without Vani, how can the Adhyatma Jiva will live? And for that, the other hand, Uttara Haru Bhagwan gave. We only are using the jaws and tongue and talking and entertaining ourselves. Ye to har ek useless fellow does. Like when the ready-made food is served on the dining table, every useless husband or children they eat. But how many of them inquired इतना बढ़िया रेसिपी कैसे बनकर आया? इसी तरह when I am communicating to you from so many years, not to anybody, how many times did I inquire ki what are the ingredients that are involved in the communication? Other than what is we studied in the Siksha Adhyaya. At the Adhyatma level, the Hadara Hanu, the Uttara Hanu, then the Sandhi, Sandhanam called as Jihva, then only the Vani is happening. Now, when you see this, if little sensitivity we have, will we not have respect and reverence for this phenomena itself? That because of which, from so many years, with so many people, with so many communications, I did it. नहीं तो सब अंधेरा हो जाएगा, कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता था अभी तक communication. Then after that, then who is the one who made this setup of all this? That's called Paramatma. Then how much we are respectful towards him, reverential towards him. So for the Vak Sandhi, the Jihva is a Sandhanam and the Uttarupama is Uttarahanu, then Adarahanu is Purvarupam. This is one of the Adhyatmic Samhita Upanishad. Now you add any number of them. Is it not? This continuously it's going on between ear and the mind. Is it not? Ear is the Purva Rupam, mind is the Uttara Rupam, perception is the Sandhi, then the vision is the audition ability is called Sandhanam. If the Sandhana of the audition ability is not there, then the perception of the sound in the mind will not happen through the ears. So ear is Purva Rupa, mind is Uttara Rupa. Then that formation of that sound in the ear is the Sandhi. Then the audition ability is called Sandhanam. So to all the five organs with the mind. Then mind and intellect can be another Samhita Upanishad. So mind is Pura Rupa, Buddhi is Uttara Rupa. Then the understanding is Sandhi. Then the ability of the intellect to think is called Sandhanam. Is it not? There is a beautiful coordination is happening. Like that, if we observe in our own physical body also talk, there is Uttara and Purva Rupa are there and Sandhi Sandhanam are happening. How the food is taken, hand is Purva Rupam, mouth is the Uttara Rupam, the gulping is Sandhi, then the action of gulping is your Sandhanam, then only it goes inside. After going inside, then the large intestine work, small intestine work, every phenomena is Sandhanam only happening. Sandhi is happening. A great upasana is happening, which we have to observe. Every system, right from the food is taken till the fecal matter sent out, there is how many Samhita Upanishads are happening inside? So terrible, so many wonderful things are happening. The secretion of digestive enzymes from one side, then the hot airs are thrown another side, then their mixture is happening. कोई मैकेनिकल बार वाला चीज नहीं है ग्राइंडर की तरह, बट वहां भी वो हो रहा है. How the blood circulation is helping all these things. So blood पहले उसके में जाकर गर्मी से उसको पचाकर पकाकर फिर एक एक चीज जहां जाना है वहां भेजता है. The sweat will come out of these pores, the fecal matter goes through other end, the urine goes from the other hand with all its chemicals. कितना संधि संधानम हो रहा है अंदर. Not a simple thing as we think it's so. And not in one human being. Any number of human beings who are going to born in future also ऐसे ही होगा. Not only human being, all the animals. Then the Samhita Upanishad between Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. This is called variety of Adhyatma Samhita Upanishad. By this, what's happening? Again, I'm telling you, a phenomena which we were never caring is being noticed by us. Then the greatness of it is noticed by us. Then the respect and reverence is developed towards it. Then the negative emotions of Bhoga Pravritti gone away. Then this respect, reverence can give an idea of inquiring about who is the one in whose presence all these are happening. That will take us to the Brahma Vidya. That Acharya will tell. It is the Parabrahma Tattva in whose presence all these are happening. To become ready to know that Brahma Tattva, we have to have respect to that Brahma Tattva. Before having the respect, whatever his presence is making things happen, we have to develop respect toward them. Before that, we have to observe them first of all. That observing is called concentration. Developing respect is called upasana. Meditating the reality behind it is called dhyana. There is nowhere to go. Here only, what is happening in front of us only. We were doing the bhoga earlier. Now we do the yoga. In the bhoga, you do something, get something, indulge. In the yoga, you observe with concentration, you understand, then you develop respect, reverence, then you use your intellect to inquire. Then in the intellectual inquiry, you will discover the truth. So dhyana, before that upasana, before that the ekagrata, say seeing. These three are the ones which you have to train. After this, what happens? Anywhere you are opening eye and seeing the world, because already you are trained in Samhita Upanishad, you just go behind what is happening to who is the one in whose presence things are happening. Realization means seeing the substratum on which all the superimposed are superimposed. Seeing the substratum. It's a substratum on whom the karta, karma, kriya are superimposed. It's the substratum on whom jnata, jnanam, gnayam are superimposed. Drashta, darshanam, dushyam are superimposed. Jagra, sapna, sushupti are superimposed. All are on that fellow only. That will start coming to us in our understanding and apprehension, meditation and all. So, in this way, all the five Samhita Upanishads are taught. हो गया ना. అవును భగవాన్ శంకరస్ భాష్య he says అథాది జ్యోతిషం ఇత్యాది సమానం. Now then toward the end, as it was said in the beginning, iti ma maha ta mahasagam hita iti asakshate, those who gave us this, they said that these samhitas are not ordinary mahasamhita, because achakshate they visualized in their own hearts. Therefore, they are giving these as upasana for us. When they said Mahasamhitaha, they mean that we should do this thing with respect, reverence. Now, as if it is not sufficient in the beginning, toward the end also, again, the Guru says, what sadhana you done is really Mahana, because you are observing the Mahan phenomena that are happening. And to make it more clear, the Rishi adds the Falashruti. Ki if anybody in this way always engages in Samhita Upasana, these are the results which are going to incur to him. So, what is the main mantra if you see? कि इत्यादि प्रजम अथाध्यात्म हो गया, जिह्वा संदानम इत्याध्यात्मम इति इमाह महासंहिताः. Main mantra I am saying. Then the Falashruti. य एवं एता महासंहिताः व्याख्याता वेद संदीयते. Veda, Vyakyata Veda. Evam Eta Mahasamhita Vyakyata Veda. The one whoever is knowing and practicing this Mahasamhita Upanishads, which five samples are given, and the who has made everything naturally the upasana of the Samhita only, to that person, what are the result? Sandhiyate. Sandhiyate means, because the word used so far is Sandhi, he is borrowing that word only to say. Sandhiyate means you are given. Simple meaning you are given. You are done anusandhana with. Diyate he can say, but sandhi word is used, no, there was sandhiyate. Kya sandhiyate? Prajaya pashubihi brahmavartsena annadyena lokena. These great five things are promised to be given to the one who does the samhita upasana. Very interesting. अब करो तो मिलेगा वो. देखो आजकल हम जो भी कर रहे हैं कुछ भी पाने को, इन द बिगिनिंग स्टेजेस ये करने में पाने में संबंध किसी को पता ही नहीं था. नॉन एक्सेप्टेबल. Have a seed is sown, a huge tree will come and give hundreds of mangoes. It was impossible to believe. How can in the seed? But when he did it, then it slowly gave the result. Any example in this world, all the cars, motor vehicles, flights, trains, they in the first instance of consumption, it is impossible only. But when they practiced it, they saw the outcome. Here also, when I do the Samhita Upanishad Upasana, how come I get all these things called as Prajaya Pashubhi Brahmavarshasena Annadyana Lokena? अरे यार तुम करना तो मिलेगा. जब उपनिषद में ऋषि कह रहा है, when Shruti Mata is saying so, why do you doubt her? But I don't understand. You need to understand. You do it, it will happen. Like with cell phone through satellite, I can talk to you. The principle was eternally there. Some scientist called as Rishi, he discovered it. अब कैसा हो रहा है काम तुमको पता नहीं, जरूरत की नहीं है. Just use the phone and काम करो अपना. कैसा हो रहा है क्यों? यूज करो ना. नंबर दबाओ फोन में, फोन लगेगा. They will lift it and you ask them, you talk to them. In the same way, the great rishis has visualized that Samhita Upanishad Upasana, if it is done, these are the benefits come. तो यू डू एंड गेट बेनिफिट ना. मैं बिलीव नहीं करता कि फोन में नंबर घुमाने से वहां कनेक्ट होगा. घुमा के देख. Is it not? In spirituality, as I told you one day, you have to see to believe it. You have to do to see to believe it. इफ यू से दैट मेरे को प्रूव करो तभी शुरू करता हूँ तो नहीं होता है यहाँ पहले करो खुद ही प्रूव हो जाता है वो नहीं क्या हाउ कैन आई प्रूव टू यू दैट इफ यू डू जपा रेगुलरली विद डिवोशन द माइंड गेट्स कंसंट्रेटेड ये आपको दिखाई नहीं जाता करो तो खुद पता चलता है वो आई कांट शो यू नो व्हेन यू गिव ए दानम देन यू विल फील सो फुलफिल्ड इनसाइड यू दैट जॉय कम्स दैट यू हैव शेयर्ड विद समबडी मेरे को दिखाओ जाए तब जाकर मैं दान करूंगा अरे यार सब्जेक्टिव होता है बस ये इसको दिखा ही नहीं सकते तुम देख के देखो दान करके and the person is having what you gave eating and he is looking with all the eyes of gratitude and saying khush raho then you see the ananda here also do the samhita over a long time then you get the result. Now, this also is important because unless the disciple gets faith in the Guru's words of the Karana and Karya, the Karana is doing the Upasana Sadhana, Karya is these five types of result. If he doesn't have faith, later on, in contemplation and meditation, whose process is this, you will realize the Brahman. In that, this disciple will not have faith. He will not do it. One of the very important training in spirituality, the Guru will have to give to disciple will have to take it is faith. बिना श्रद्धा काम करेंगे नहीं बिना करेंगे तो फल आएगा ही नहीं हमको especially in the case of moksha it is not moksha is given to you and taken away and told you कि moksha looks like this therefore do the sadhana and get moksha ऐसा सैम्पलिंग नहीं होता मोक्ष का you have to do and get it that's it सम शॉप्स में ना ड्रेस मटेरियल को वहाँ आपको कुछ जगह पे ट्रायल के लिए मौका देते कुछ जगह तो नो ट्रायल खरीद के जाओ बस in the same way you have to do sadhana and become one with the brahma tattva there's no sample given trial is not given there therefore how do you do it sadhana on the strength of faith so here also these are the falashruti that are being told to us that portion of bhashya we have to study we'll just see that athadi jyotisham iti samanam iti imaha means iti uktaha upapradarsyante those things which are said five of the samhita upanishads they are called mahasamhitaah vyakhyataah so for you so far mahasamhitas are given in our vyakhyana सो अथा तो शिक्षाम व्याख्यास्यामः शिक्षा व्याख्यान हो गया संहिताम व्याख्यास्यामः संहिता व्याख्यान हो गया सो इति इमा महासगमहिताः व्याख्याता दिस इज अ सेंटेंस इन मेन मंत्र शंकर भगवान इज एक्सप्लेनिंग दैट नॉट मेनी डिटेल्स इति इमाः इति उक्ताः उपप्रदर्श्यन्ते इति इमा मतलब these things which I just now taught you na that one यह कश्चित् एवं एताः महासंहिताः व्याख्याता वेदा whoever knows these mahasamhitas which are explained so far so they are mahasamhitas and whoever knows them knows means what upaste those who do the upasana of it now the word upasana the way Bhagavan Shankara gives definition here is very fresh and very new. This is Vaidika Upasana. What we know is Pauranic Upasana of putting the Lord, doing Prana Pratishtha, doing the Abhishekam, Ashtottanam, all the Naivedya, Mangalarati. The Upasana of the Upanishad is defined here. I'll explain it today. Tomorrow, this is a subject we are really going to study, no doubt. Then we enter into that most divine sacred mantra of YASCHANDASAAM Rishabho Vishwarupah. These are all great, great things. So what is upasana? Veda iti upasanam syatu. Veda means upasana. Why? Vijnana adhikarat. Because only when you do the upasana, you become adhikari for the further teaching Vijnana Brahma Tattva. Now, iti in this way, prachina yogyopasvaha iti ja vachanato iti prachina yogyopasva iti javasanat. In the future mantras, prachina yogyopasva, that will come. Means what? In from the prachina kala, all the yogis have done the upasana, it is said. Therefore, what is the meaning of the Veda? Veda means upasana. Iti ma sagamhita vyakyata Veda. The one who knows these Mahasamhitas which are told so far. Of this sentence, for all the words, extra explanation is not required. Simple meaning, whoever knows these Mahasamhitas which are taught. But he'll have to give the meaning, special meaning to the word Veda. He says Veda is not only literal meaning of knows. K-N-O-W-S. Veda means upasate. Upasate. Why you say Veda means upasate? Because of Yogya Upasva that is going to come in future. Therefore, Veda is equal to Upasana. And what is Upasana? Please define. He explains here. Upasanam cha yatha shastram tulya pratyaya santatihi asankirna cha atat pratyayaihi shastrokta alambana vishaya cha. This is called definition of Upasana. प्रसिद्धः च उपासन शब्दार्थः लोके गुरुमुपास्ते राजानमुपास्ते इति. So योवा गुरुम उपास्ते यो हि गुरु आदीन संततम उपचरति सह उपास्ते इति उच्यते. सह च फलमाप्नोति उपासनस्य. अतः अत्रापि यः एवं वेद संधीयते प्रजादिभिः स्वर्गान्तैः प्रजादिफलं प्राप्नोति इति अर्थः इति तृतीयोनुवाकः. Now, if you start it now, it will be a huge subject of 30 minutes. So, tomorrow we will talk. So, today, yesterday, day before, what we do, after doing the Vyakhyana of the first Siksha Valli, where the Varna, Swara, Matra, Bala, Sama, Santana, each of them are explained and their importance is told, and the practice of that is also trained. If that is not done, how we will not succeed in our communication, all that was taught. In the second portion, in the Samhita Upanishad, we are told about the practice of doing Upasana. 5 adhikaranas as example or sample are given. In that, we are meditating with concentration about presence of Pura Rupa, Uttara Rupa, Sandhi and Chandana. And we are developing reverence towards it. Later on, the inquiry will set in as to who is the one who is making happen all these things. That topic is done. Now, when this Samhita Upanishad is regularly done, what is the Falashruti? Is all explained here. And definition of Upasana. Then after seeing these two, the definition of Upasana, then the Falashruti means what are the things one is going to gain, because very tempting it is. Then Prajaya, Pashubihi, Brahmavartsasena, Annadena, then Lokena, when all these things are told, everybody will be tempted to do this Samhita Upasana. And then Shruti Mata is not only tempting, just like that. जैसे कुछ ना बच्चों को टेम्प्ट करते हैं माता लोग, ये करोगे तो मैं तो ये दूंगा वो दूंगा, उसको काम कराने के बाद बुलवाते हैं कि उनको देते ही नहीं हो. कुछ जगह होता है. Promise is given that something will be given to you in reciprocation of your work. After the work is done, they just don't give only that one. यहाँ ऐसा नहीं है. Samhita Upanishad, do it. These are all results that are going to come. There is no doubt about it. Then the YASCHANDASAAM mantra will come. So what is the Falashruti when you do the Upasana? Very tempting it is. प्रजया संधीयते, पशुभि संधीयते, ब्रह्मवर्चसेन संधीयते, अन्नादेन संयुज्यते, सुवर्गेण लोकेन. What more a jiva wants than this? For his own happy being. And this in the modern language of Purana Kala, every of the Devata, when you worship them, they bless with their respective desires. So money you want, you respect the Mother Lakshmi, Upasana, she will give you. And you want Vidya, you either worship Saraswati directly, she will give you, or worship Lakshmi only. Lakshmi will tell Saraswati to give the Vidya. In this way, पुराना काल में जो भी हम चाहते हैं उन देवताओं से पा सकते हैं. And it needs some more attention. Tomorrow we'll give. Om, 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 what we are studying in our Upanishad with Bhashya, so many details. I don't think we get anywhere or even any of the books also. And that is why the need of not missing our most beautiful morning Upanishad Adhyayana. Each text has its own different flavor and purpose. They are in that way unique. Ramayana's uniqueness, Bhagavata's uniqueness, I no doubt. But these Upanishads have its own special uniqueness. It is something other, something beyond, something the primordial. वेद काल वाला ज्ञान है. इसको सुनने का मौका मिलना ही कितने जन्म का पुण्य होता है. मिल रहा है तो मेक यूज ऑफ इट. या नथिंग इज इम्पॉसिबल टू ह्यूमन इंटेलेक्ट. विथ लिटिल ऑफ श्रद्धा युक्त अभ्यास समझने आने लगता है. देखो, when I am repeating these things every day, some of you may getting bored, but others definitely will understand कि because of the repetition only clarity is coming. Every day we are touching upon Shanno Mitra meaning, Siksha Vyadha meaning, and the introduction why Bhagavan gave there. Then what about the Samhita Upanishad? What's the practical aspect of it? What is the consequence of it? Why we have to do that? How it leads to the next level of meditation on the truth? हर दिन हम कनेक्ट करके बार बार बता रहे. And luckily, little improvement is happening in our understanding. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarshibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha श्रुतिमात्रे नमः. मंडूक महर्षि, याज्ञवल्क्य महर्षि, वैशंपायन महर्षि, वेदव्यास महर्षि, आद्य शंकर महर्षि नमः. तत्सद्ब्रह्मार्पणस्तु. थैंक यू. Give me 10 minutes for the study of Taittiriya.